Prophecy User Manual Part 1, Setting Up the Analysis. In setting up the business case, you need to consider three things. What is the key business question? What metric best captures that business question? And over what future period do you wish to make your predictions? We will illustrate with two different examples, and we'll return to these examples throughout this video. The first is customer lapse, and the second is automobile miles per gallon. In the automobile MPG example, the key business question is estimating the miles per gallon that a particular automobile will achieve. The metric is simple. It's a number that represents the miles per gallon of a particular automobile. The time period in this case, since we're looking at a snapshot, is basically irrelevant. We're looking for a one-time prediction immediately in the future. Using the customer lapse data, let's walk through the data acquisition process. We identified two sources for the information. The first is customer profiles, and the second is customer transaction history. On the left side of the screen, you can see a column labeled Customer ID. Customer ID is a unique ID which identifies each customer and is used for two purposes: to merge different data sets together on the same ID, and once Prophecy has generated its insights and analysis, to go back to the source if we wish to learn something more about specific customer records. The customer profile contained information such as age, zip code, gender, and so on that have been included in this analysis. There may have been other items such as education which we decided not to put into the analysis for one reason or another. Now let's look at the customer transaction history. The actual transaction history file would contain each individual transaction that the customer undertook during the period. In this case, what we've done is aggregated all the transactions up to 1 quarter, since that's the period over which we're trying to predict. So we aggregated the transactions up for the quarter, and based on the customer ID, we associated with that particular customer. On the right side of the screen, you can see what we label as variable of interest. And this is a variable that says lapsed, and we have ones and zeros. 1 would mean that the customer left, 0 would mean that they didn't leave. Now let's look at the miles per gallon example. The first column, ID, is again a unique identifier for each vehicle. We then have a series of variables that relate to the physical characteristics of the car: the number of cylinders, the engine displacement, horsepower, acceleration, and body weight. We have the year in which it was manufactured, and we have the region in which it was manufactured: 1 for the US, 2 for Europe, and 3 for Japan. We have the car name, and finally we have miles per gallon, which is the numerical value that we'll be trying to predict.